I'm a mother, and I'm raising a new breed of leaders for the African future.
Yay! Okay, so today is a very exciting episode, Personally, I'm happy, This is anniversary edition. What are the odds that, you meet someone randomly and get to find out that you have a lot more in common than you actually thought? So, well, that's the case of Zoe and I today. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about our journey as wives. And coincidentally, today is my wedding anniversary. My 9th wedding anniversary.
Congrats.
On the 9th. And now the interesting part is Zoe also celebrated her 7th year wedding anniversary on the 7th of April. So, it's just like everything just, blended in. So, April happens to be a very wonderful month for us at the A.R.A.L show, because also this month we're going to be celebrating 1 year, one whole year of impact, 1 whole year of, being intentional and the journey so far. But let's not let that bag out of, let's not let that cat, right? Let's not let that bag out of the car, whatever. You understand what I mean? But on the 17th of April, A.R.A.L show will be 1 year, and it has been a journey. So trust me, you don't want to miss the next episode, because we'll be talking about our journey through the 1 year of hosting A.R.A.L show. But that's not the bone of contention today. Today we're going to be, talking about experiences, our marriage experiences, both Zoe and I. In 9 years, what have I learned from marriage that has impacted my children or my parenting journey? And Zoe, we also do the same. 7 whole years is no mean feat, if you know what I'm saying. So we're going to be sharing our experiences. We're going to be sharing, our opinion on how marriage impacts your parenting journey. So in case this is your first time of joining us, this is the A.R.A.L show, where A.R.A.L means Afri-Moms Raising African Leaders. And my name is Somi. And of course, I'm never alone. We are never alone. So this is over to you.
Hello, at whatever time you're joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Zoe Octavia Obaze. Somi, congratulations.
Thanks you.
Can you remember your wedding day?
I cannot even forget, even if I want to forget. Like, my wedding day will make a blockbuster.
Wow.
My wedding day will make a blockbuster. Like, so many things. First of all, of course, like me, I don't have a separate anniversary for traditional and my church wedding. I had both the same day. So my traditional wedding served as my traditional, my reception rather, served as my traditional wedding, because I had my wedding in Owerri. And my hometown wasn't so far from Owerri. So we're like, why stress ourselves? Just do the whole thing. So the bride price payment was done a day before that. Yes, a day before that. That's on the 8th. Then on the 9th, we had both the church wedding and the traditional wedding. But that's not even the gist. The gist is that I paid for, what's it called? Decoration.
Yes.
And I ended up not using a decoration for my wedding.
You don't mean it?
I ended up using a soiled decoration for my wedding.
When you say decoration, like your event hall?
No, of course it was in our compound now. And it's in April. Rain were not so serious then. So it's in my father's compound, because traditional wedding, of course, and everything. So there was really, really no hall per se. So it was just some few canopies here and there. But it was supposed to be an outdoor event, because nobody assumed that anything. Immediately, my decorator finished the decoration. He was just about to snap, to send to me that, I have executed my job, and the floodgates of heaven opened up.
What?
As in, the whole decoration, rain. And the funny thing was that at that point in time, my village road was was in a very wonderful state. It's much better now, 9 years after, but then it was in a very terrible state. So everywhere was flooded. And the rain was not like drizzle or shower of rain.
You don't mean it.
It was so bad that I couldn't, the car taking me from the church wedding to my compound could not even go further because it was water. So I had to calm down. I was swimming in muddy water with, with my white
Swimming
wedding gown.
bride.
And I got home that day. I remember just looking at the whole place and I'm like,
You didn't cry?
Who will not cry? Hey, Jesus Christ. I first entered my daddy's room and I started crying. I was like, what is all this nonsense and everything? But then this is where I thank God that I have very good friends. Because my friends now cheered me up. Babe, what are you crying? The main thing, they've joined you in church. This one is just ceremony. They paid bride price. They've joined you in church. This one is just ceremony. So what are you crying for? And I'm like, dust your face. Let's get out of there and just have fun and everything. And that really helped me. So I just was able to put everything past myself. And really, it ended up being so much fun. We actually ended up having so much fun, despite the fact that the decoration was messed up, everywhere was muddy and all those stuffs. And coupled with the fact that, so when I said my wedding day, I can't forget, on the 7th, my grandfather, I happened to be the first granddaughter of my extended family. That is amongst my dad and his siblings. I'm the first granddaughter. So my grandfather was really looking forward to my wedding. So I remember the day I came back to my hometown, that is in preparation for my wedding, because a lot of the shopping was done in Aba.
Yes.
So immediately I came back, my grandfather was so happy and he was telling me, this is how I will dance with your grandmother on your wedding day, this or that one. I thought I was talking with somebody that really wanted to stay. Only for my dad to come back, because my dad had to come in from Germany. Was it on the 6th or 5th, thereabout? Was it? Next thing I heard my grandfather say was that he's going to go back with my father. In my head, I was like, go back to Germany with him at this old age. What are you going to look for? We didn't know the man was talking from another realm. So that's 7th of April, which is a day before my bride price payment.
Yes.
I was coming back from Aba with the clothes I made for my grandfather that he was going to wear for my wedding, and the one I made for my grandmother that they were going to wear for my wedding. And I came back everywhere. Everybody was just I somehow I noticed the first smile and everything, but I didn't read meaning into it. So I was like, where's Mpa now? And they said, that he started feeling sick because of course he has been having issues with diabetes before then. But he was very healthy. Like it has been managed. I was like, where's Mpa now? They said, he started having little issues here and there. So they took him to the hospital. So me, I was like, hospital. I felt it's maybe something he will come back the following day, since my wedding was on the 9th. It was when somehow one of my uncle didn't know when he slipped out of his mouth when he told my dad, I was with you now at the mortuary there. That I said, much what?
Mortuary hospital?
That was when I turned. Then it now occurred to me. I did a head count. Everybody was complete in the house. So if Mpa is in the hospital, who is with him? That was when I now broke down. I say, my uncle now had to hold me. Now told me that my grandfather had died. Hi, God. I was like,
oh my, this is like the eve of your wedding.
Hey, I was like, what? As in tears, right? I was like, people, you can't see it. I want to cry again. Like, okay. It was so touching. I was like, but this was not the promise. Like, I actually had a session crafted for him and my grandmother during my wedding reception where they will come out and dance and all those stuffs. So I was really looking forward to it. So I was really so... Then when the rain happened again, I was like, God, are you sure this marriage safe was even tested for me?
So this is where I think we will start, because if you are joining us and you are in this category, number one, you are probably not yet married, you are engaged, you are preparing to be married, or you are newly married, or you are at about the same number of years with us in our journey, or several years. So you might just be at different phases, but particularly we'll be sharing our experiences and then hoping that some of them relate with you, or what's that word? Not relates. Resonates. Thank you. Resonates with you. And also, now this particularly is for somebody who is newly engaged, or you're hoping that one of these days you'll be engaged and married. Number one, like Somi's friend said to her, and like I said to those who I am their compare at their weddings, your wedding party might not be perfect. Focus on the home you want to build. I mean, yes, you will try to ensure that your vendors are up to the task. You'll try to ensure that, you're planning around the weather. But if such things like what happened to Somi happens to you, it's not the end of the world. Just tell yourself, oh, what a funny day, it rained. I mean, 9 years later, there's no evidence that it rained, apart from the fact that she tells us. Then if it so happens that somebody you love so dearly passes on, it's hurtful. But at that point, you have to move on. So I think I just needed to chip that in, because as we share our experiences, we want to be able to derive lessons
Yeah.
Lessons that are usable to you and lessons that are also usable to us, because sometimes these experiences are recurrent in different phases, so
yeah.
we have to remember. Okay, so babe, so this is
Wait, sorry, you have me to a storyteller.
I think it's your day, baby girl.
Okay, so like I was saying, so and the fact that he died, and of course because of our tradition, they had to conceal his death since my wedding had been fixed. So they didn't call a meeting of the kinsmen to tell them my grandfather was late. In fact, to take him out of the house when he died, they had to sit him on the chair. They sat him on the chair, like they didn't, so that it would look like, in case anybody see it, they won't know. They would think maybe they are just driving him. They just tried. The point is that they just tried to conceal everything so that it's not out there that he's late and your wedding. So they just didn't want anything to hamper my wedding. It was after the night after my wedding, the following day, they had to call the kinsmen and told them that, because a lot of them noticed he was not around at the distance. They kept just, he's not feeling fine, this one, that one, that one, that one, and all those things like that. Yeah. So, but the thing is, a lot of things happened at the wedding, like I said, and looking back, I just think that so many times in marriage we're fixated, we're too consumed with the wedding event, and forget that marriage is a journey. It's beyond that one day event. So it's almost like wedding has little or no impact on the actual marriage.
Actually,
that's just the truth.
Actually,
as long as the bride price had been paid, you've received a blessing from probably your pastor, or if you're Muslim, your imam, or whatever it is that works for you. I think that's the main thing. Any other ceremony you're doing, trust me, they don't give an award for best wedding. Because if you think your wedding is the best, my dear, wait by next month. I'm not even saying next year. By next month, you'll see the one that supersedes your own. Like I always say, I didn't have my dream wedding when I wedded. And that's the truth. But I have my dream marriage. Yes, a lot of things can be better, and it gets better with time, it gets better with age. But I would still want to go through this journey with who I am going through this journey with. I would still want to go through this journey with my husband, because he has made marriage a lot more easier. So if I was so fixated on that wedding, if I was so fixated that everything, the whole rain, in fact, my grandmother, her sense of humor, when she came back and I was raining, the next thing she told me, and it was raining, and then I was about to start crying, the first thing she told me is that it seems all the suitors you rejected in this village, they are the worst. They sending rain for you like this, because it was so unusual. I say, it's funny now in retrospect, but that it was not funny. Like heavy rain. This one is not like, drizzles and all those stuff. This was heavy. I said I was swimming with wedding gown.
Here comes the bride.
Inside mud. So it was so funny. But like I said, don't be so fixated. That's one of the lessons for me in marriage. Don't be so fixated on the wedding. Do what you can. There is no award for best wedding. That's just the truth. Yeah. Whatever it is you're doing now, by next week, by next Saturday, someone else will supersede your own. Just do within your... Will I still have my dream wedding? Maybe when we have our 15 years anniversary, 25, maybe I'll work. Whatever is the case. But then, it's no longer a big deal for me. Unlike when I was growing up then, I had, I will wear this perfect, all this picture of fairy tale wedding and all those stuff. So marriage is actually beyond the wedding. So think of life after the wedding. Don't do past yourself, my sister. Don't do past yourself, my brother. Just do within your means. And prepare for marriage. So over to you, Zoe. What was your wedding day experience like? The pictures I saw, you were so happy. Like there was something. There was something. What did this man tell you that was giving you that kind of...
In fact, till date, interestingly, a friend still says to my husband and I that I've never seen a wedding so exciting. Is it what exciting? So it was a very exciting event. So what we wanted it to be like, we are Christians, my husband and I. We are proudly Africans, however, we are Christians. And we wanted it to be some sort of a praise fiesta. So we had music ministers come in, and that was more like the entertainment. And I don't remember any dull moments for me. I was just really jumping and really excited. My husband as well.
I saw
so we were just very excited, and it felt like everybody that loved that was somebody to us was present. And then something else I did, because I envisaged from experience, I had seen that sometimes in weddings, especially for the bride, something that begins to go wrong is when she comes in late. And I then sort of observed that sometimes her coming late is not exactly her fault. So these are the things I observed from observing some friends and some strangers. I observed that number one, the bridal train. So sometimes she may have called and had around her friends, loved ones who are pairs. And so what they want to do is everybody wants to look good. It's a wedding day. Some people say things like, oh, catch fish. Oh, the idea of catch fish is catch a suitor if you can. You know, and then somebody's just very finicky and wants to look extra. And then it takes time. And because she has a dream that she's walking in with these ladies, she doesn't want to leave them behind. Some other times is the makeup artist. So because she's very particular on how she wants to look, the makeup artist comes and sometimes they're not very fast, or for one reason or the other they delay. So this is how I escaped that, my sisters. I started by saying, you know what, I want all my friends, I want to eat my cake and have it, or is it have my cake and eat it? All of it. So what I told myself was, all of my friends, I started by detailing friends from childhood, friends from school, friends from university, friends from fellowship, friends I've met along places I went to volunteer, every friend that has been through the journey. I just took about 2 or 3 of them. I said, you know what, I want it to be my ladies on standing. So imagine like 25 to 30 ladies. I said, okay, I didn't exactly have in mind that they wear something similar. I just wanted you all to know that you are on this journey with me. So we're on a WhatsApp group. I was introducing everybody to everybody. I was just generally having fun. Then by themselves, they decided they wanted to wear something. But this is the catch. I made it clear that you don't have to exactly come in with me. So you can come in at your time, at your convenience, because I respect the fact that you want to look spectacular, and that's okay. Then, by the counsel of an elder in my life, I then sought for children who were significant in my life. Children from my family. Children from my husband's family. Children that we have related with. Children perhaps who we mentor. These are tiny children of about the same age, but they are children. For children, it's very easy. Once they bath, they dress up, we move. When they say Auntie Zoe is moving, they move. So it was very simple. We had them camped together. I then had 1 or 2 of those, my friends, oversee these children. And then they are all dressed according to the colors I wanted. And I wanted something very colorful. So for each girl, there's a boy. And so if the girl is putting on green, the guy is putting on green. If the other girl is putting on orange. So it was that. But what I had escaped by that is when I am ready to move, they are moving with me. And so I'd also cut out the part of the makeup, because I said, see, as simple as it can be, see, I'm a very pretty lady, the way I am. I'm very confident of it. So you don't have to do much. I mean, that comes into play. Just understand that you are beautiful. The man who loved you and asked you to asked you to marry him already knows that you are beautiful. So with or without that very heavy makeup, you are good to go. So my makeup artist already knew that. So I got in there before the time. In fact, I remember my husband being very excited and people being very excited. So it was already one goal I have hit by being there. Some of my friends did come early, others didn't, but it wasn't a problem. And so I think that is something else that I would like to share to any lady who is planning to get married. That pressure of having your friends with you. If you know that your friends are time conscious people, by all means, if you know that there are people that will not delay you unnecessarily and can allow you get to your wedding on time, go ahead. If your makeup artist is somebody that has proven to keep to time, hire such a person. If the person is not willing, my sister, go beautifully and just ensure that you are there on time. You really don't want to get late to your wedding and hear things like, oh, everybody has been waiting for you. That already starts your day on a bad note and you don't want it. So me, that was how my day went.
Interesting. So I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. So this is a good time to say that, please, if you're enjoying the conversation, do well to like, do well to share, do well to subscribe. Click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you're always reminded when a new episode drops. This is still the A.R.A.L show on Digits 1024 radio, your refreshing radio. And of course, Digits is that place where you want to come to for refreshing entertainment, for entertainment that educates, entertains, and inspires. So do well to follow Digits 1024 at on all social media platforms. And again, don't forget, leave your comments. We want to hear, what was your wedding day experience like? Or if you know someone that had probably a chaotic wedding day experience like mine, you might want to share. Let's just, laugh over it and all those stuffs. So Zoe, before we go on a break, let's talk about one, how do I put it? Okay, one lesson. Let's start with one first. One major lesson that you have learned in the course of your 7 years of marriage. What's that one thing that always stands out for you that has really, shaped the way you approach your marriage life?
Okay. I used to think I was a very humble young lady. I used to think I was very humble until I got married and I realized how hard it is to say sorry. Oh my. So, the lesson of I am sorry. So, you know how you are sorry, but because you don't want to say I am sorry, you now
Look for that.
you now give extra something. My husband will say, are you trying to say sorry? Or are you sorry? Oh my God. Then the other part where you now say, I am sorry, and then you now hear the question, what are you sorry for? So how do you define what you are sorry for? Okay, I am sorry that I said what I said the way I said. What did you say?
What did you
So you have to define what you said. Okay, so now jokes apart. One thing I have learned from getting my marriage in 7 years is learning to say sorry. And it's like very tiny. Somebody says that when you are in something like when there's a little friction in your home, it's like an elephant in the room. I mean, you can almost touch it. You just know that there's just a disconnect between you and your husband naturally. It just happens. Nobody said nothing happened. Or nobody came in, but you can already feel like you are separated. And as soon as you say, I am sorry, it's like it just disappears. And so I started realizing that, okay, Zoe, if it's as simple as that, first of all, I started asking myself, why are you often saying sorry? Can you start by doing the right things so that you are not even saying sorry? And then because I'm human, there must be things that, okay, maybe I didn't even realize that I did this thing wrong, but now that I've realized, however tiny, it takes humility, honestly. And because I want to live a full life, I want to live a life where when I'm done, I realize that, in fact, when we got married, I told my husband that this our journey is like we have about roughly 70 years to go, because I calculated his age and I calculated mine. I don't think I'll be living too far beyond 100 if I will even get to 100. So I know that this is like a 70 years journey. So I mean, this 70 years I wanted to count, and we're 7 years down, right? So we have like 63 to go. So I'm telling myself already that I don't want to, number one, I don't want to come out of this marriage no matter what happens. I told myself one day that, you see this, you die here. I mean it literally. I actually die here. Because when I made the vow and I said to death do us part, I mean, that's what it means. It means you die here. And what does it mean? It means that whatever humility that it will take from me, whatever diligence it will require me to apply, I am willing to give it. I tell myself that I never want a day where there's me somewhere and there's my husband somewhere. If for anything, for my sons, I owe them that. I never want a time where they have to choose between me or their father. I never want a time where I have to explain how marriage doesn't work sometimes. I'm not saying that anybody who has gone through anything does not have their story, but I'm saying when it comes to me, this is my choice. I'm going to rather die. And I want to leave you with an analogy to answer the question. A godly man and a noble man that my husband and I really look up to and learn from, he says that a home that will work is like this. It's like when two hands are clapping, it makes a sound. But if one of the hand dies, there is no sound. So if you decide that I, as the wife, I want to be that hand that no longer fights, that no longer answers, there will be no sound. There will be no noise. I want to be that hand that rather than give back, give answer back and stand up for my rights, I want to die. I want to lay down my rights. There will be no sound. So more and more, I want to be that hand that has died so that whatever comes out from my home is beauty. It's noble, it's commendable.
Okay, so that's a very, very interesting one. So for me, just like Zoe, before getting into marriage, I knew for me, marriage is a lifetime thing. There are no second options for me. So, and that was why I was very intentional about who I was going to settle down with. And for me, that's the biggest lesson. You see, no matter how noble your intentions are, you're still human. So if you're not deliberate to make sure that you choose the right partner, your efforts will be frustrated. And it doesn't matter how much you want to stay in that marriage, you will never be able to stay. And that's just the truth. So what do I mean by this? So the success of your marriage first begin with your ability to choose the right person for you. Not that there are no hopes, so do you understand? But it's just a longer route. And for some people, they come out so scarred. And so for some people, they don't even come out of it at all. So for me, I think for me, yes, let me speak to single people, because for married people, you may be like, okay, but the deed has been done already.
Yeah.
At this point, I won't lie to you. Just go to God. That's the only remedy.
Yes.
My human wisdom is limited to tell you what to do. But for you who are still coming, forget the optics. I used to tell people, if it's by physical appearance alone, my husband ticked the box of being tall, he ticked the box of being dark, he ticked the box of being handsome. But I wanted a more chubby person. That is, if you ask me to paint the picture of my ideal kind of man, I will tell you probably someone a little bit chubby. But for those that know my husband, you know that even 9 years after, he's still as slim can get. And that hasn't changed. But what happened? I had to look beyond the physical. Does this guy tick these other ticks? So there was a question I asked my husband the very first day we spoke. Then we've not even met. Of course, recently I shared how I met my husband on my Facebook. It was a connection between my mother-in-law. But the first day we spoke, of course, me, I didn't want someone that will come to me as per you're a church girl, so let me come with that vibe. I didn't even want that at all. So me, as he was talking, I was talking off, just to get him to that point. And I asked him a question. This one you are talking married now, it's not tomorrow, and you're saying God this one, God that one. That I hope it's not tomorrow. You tell me God told you to go to Afghanistan, then you will not tell me one thing. And I said it in such a way that I'm not down for that. Do you understand? Like, I don't care whatever it is God has told you. And he made one comment, and he said, I won't lie to you. If God said, and I am very sure that God said, I am upping and leaving. That was what he told me. And for me, at that point in time, that was the moment that sealed it for me, because I saw someone. I tell people, the assurance I have that my husband cannot cheat on me, it's not because I'm the most beautiful woman. Have you seen women? Like, have you seen the species? Have you seen the specs and all that? There are very more beautiful women out there. They are very more beautiful. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's not my assurance. The only assurance I have that my husband would always do right by me, despite his human imperfection, is the fact that I know that he's a man that fears God. That is my biggest assurance. So for every time he will want to go step out of the line, I know there will be someone who will speak to his conscience and he would listen. That is my biggest assurance. Not the fact that I'm one fine girl or I'm the best homekeeper. People that know me know that I'm cuckoo lazy. I can be very lazy. So it's not about being wife material 1 million years and all that. That doesn't mean that when I have to step up to the plate, I don't do that. But what I'm saying is that beyond the optics of, oh, I want to have the destination wedding, oh, he's tall, dark and handsome, oh, beard gang, you know, all those other superficial things that we always look out for in a spouse. Please, I beg you, genuinely seek for someone that will look out for your good, even when the going gets tough. Because trust me, there are times in marriage where you now look at yourself, you'll be like, what did I even see yourself that made me carry myself and enter this marriage, kukuma? But what will keep you going is the fact that, you know, you look at the good times and you know that this is someone that is committed to your good. You know, one of the definitions of love that I've ever heard that stuck to my head, and I feel that sums it up, because when I hear people say love is not enough,
what does that even mean?
Do you know what love is? Because that definition, I heard it from my pastor's wife, Pastor Sarah Oweni, and she said, love is the sustained direction of the will towards the good of another. So you're sustaining your will, that as long as it's for the good of this person, I will do it. But where the problem comes is that we have limited love to that butterflies in my tummy. Let me tell you, like 9 years down the line, I can tell you that there are no butterflies anymore. Not that there are no butterflies. I don't know if you try. I want you to understand what I'm trying to say. There are no that, you know, compared that, you know, I'm in clown line and all those things. It's a more mature kind of love for me now, where even without, even in our silence, we are conveying our feelings for one another. We don't have to be all touchy everywhere and all those stuff. Yes, that part comes in. But as long as you know that this person, I have committed to this person, like Zoe said, it's till death do us part. So you have committed to this person and you chose this person, except in a case where it was an arranged marriage. I don't know what to tell you about that one, Sha, but you still agreed to it. But either ways, it's still your choice who you settle down with, and you've chosen this person, you chose this person. So why not now sit your butt down and make it work? Do what you have to do to make it work. So as long as the two of you are committed, it's just like, for example, why there is an issue is when there is one self-centered person. So imagine, for example, me and you were in a relationship, and for every time I am thinking, what can I do to make Zoe happy? And you, for every time you're thinking, what can you do to make Somi happy? There won't be that issue. But it's when everybody is consumed with their own self. Oh, Zoe needs to do this to make me happy. Then Zoe is waiting for me to do this to make her happy. There's already a friction being created. But when everybody in that marriage is seeking for, okay, this, how do I make my partner happy? And the other person is also thinking, how do I make my partner happy? You see that there's a mutual satisfaction that comes from you seeking to do the good, or doing good to the person, and the person seeking to do your good. So, like I said, the success of your marriage, yes, as much as lies with God, it begins with your choice. Make sure you're choosing the right person for you, so that you don't end up being frustrated in marriage. There are seasons of marriage. There are times when the going is tough. There are times where you need more than the I love you, more than the butterflies running in your tummy and all those stuff. What will keep you going is that decision you have made, that I want to love this person through the hard times, through the tough times, through the not so pleasant times. And I don't know, I'm beginning to sound
So I want to add something. So this is not an attempt to teach you who to marry, right? But I mean, we're celebrating 9 years married, 7 years married respectively, and you might just be able to take some of our words for it, especially the parts where it resonates with you. So talking about who you are choosing to marry, we're targeting this particularly to young ladies, particularly, and then young men. You cannot rule out the fact that this person you want to marry did not drop from the sky. So the people that have been in this person's life, what do they have to say about this person? You cannot turn a blind eye to that. Do not expect that, oh, I love him, all of a sudden I'm in his life and he just thinks about me alone. Who is his mother? Who is his father? Who are his sisters? Who are his brothers? Who are his friends? Who are his neighbors? What do they have to say about him? If you are paying attention, you begin to gather bits and pieces of who this person really is. Because you are living with a person. You are living with who he is. That's what you have to live for. So put these things into perspective. For me, it was very reassuring to know that I was relating with people who had known my husband since when he was a teenager. Aside his family, so even if his family was deceiving me and saying nice things about him, there were people that knew him from years back who could vouch for him. Also, I was also able to see that, oh, this man, there are certain things that he lives for. He might not have everything, but these things that he lives for, they are the things that I cannot live without if a man doesn't have it. For instance, the fear of God. Being honest, my husband is a sincerely honest man. Like, he can never tell me something that I feel is a lie. I can't doubt it. I can't think it. I can't imagine it. So whatever he says, I know it is true. And whatever he says to me, I can take it. If I feel like if I ask my husband, what do you think about this concerning me? He's not going to tell me anything to flatter me. He's going to tell me the truth. And it helps me grow. When we come back, we'll talk more about our experiences. 9 years, 7 years, and the lessons. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
All corners of Africa. Rise from your slumber. The time is now. Lift your voices, take action, make your mark. Intentionally raise the leaders of tomorrow. This is the A.R.A.L show where we plant the seeds of greatness in our children. built a life brick by brick, hand in hand. With every crack we still stand. Four little boys, loud and bright, tiny mirrors, our hearts inside. They watch how we love, how we try, how we fall, how we rise. And I'm still choosing you through the highs, through the blue. Not just a moment, but every day new. Through the changes, I still choose you.
So should I stop dancing?
No, don't stop. Keep it up. Keep it up. You can see that I know people is doing a good job. See the excitement from the regalia to as in. Please, whatever I know people are giving out to eat. Okay, so welcome back. So again, we're still celebrating our anniversary. It's our anniversary week. I am celebrating my 9th wedding anniversary today, and Zoe celebrated hers on Monday, being the 7th. And 9th on 9th, 7th on 7th.
Right.
Okay, so welcome back. This is still the A.R.A.L show, where A.R.A.L means
Afri Moms Raising African Leaders.
So I'm still, we're still going to be talking about our marriage experiences. So just before the show, it was really geared towards pre-wedding and the wedding experiences. So now we're going to tie it down. Of course, we know everything we're doing on this show is geared towards raising African leaders for the future. So now we're going to tie up our discussion, how our our marriage has directly or indirectly impacted our parenting experience. So we have a very short time to go right now, so we're just going to round off everything. So I'll start with Zoe. What impact do you think that your marriage has had on your parenting journey and raising your children?
Thank you, Somi. I'm a very proud African. I'm also a very proud Christian. Proud in the sense that this sums my identity. I am an African who is a Christian and wants to live for God. And my children, I want to raise them to be future African leaders, those who have fear for God and are well-rounded individuals. My husband has set certain principles for, if he has lived on this earth summarily, so 350 times, 5 or 6, every of the days that his eyes has seen planet Earth. I don't think there has been more than 1 or 2 days that he has woken up without waking up into a morning devotion. And the same applies to my son. So the sum of all the days they have lived on the earth, they have woken up every new day into quality morning devotion. And that for me is something that was not a practice to me. Well, we did it here and there. Sometimes we wake up, depends on the side of the bed we wake up on. But my husband has upheld it. And that's just like one of the kinds of things he does. He's a very consistent person. And it helps me to be like that as well. Something else is how my husband is able to believe in little. Like he believes that when it's small, it's a seed. Just continue, it will grow. So those are bits and pieces of things that parenting for me has helped me as an individual, and it's helping me in raising our sons as well. We believe that if we consistently consistently put in effort, it would germinate. We teach it to our sons. A little is enough. Start from there. Be content with the little you have. Someday, sometime, you might have more. So these are principles that are working for us. Also, the fact that I chose the man I did, and I'm persuaded that the personality that he has, how my husband is able to do things very well. Like, people have always said it, like, once you give a task to my husband, you can't sleep. He will get it done. If he has to go under the rock, if he has to climb the clouds, whatever it takes, he will ensure that it is done. I'm learning that from him, and then I'm also able to help my husband be more social. So my husband can really love people from a distance, but he'll tell you that, my friends, we might not talk for 7 years, but when we call, we'll catch up. I say, no, sir. The fact that we have talked about your friend today, we are calling that friend. So there are many times when I'll pick up my own phone and call his own friend and hand over my phone to him. I say, sir, today is the appointed day to call your friend. So these are aspects that we rub off on each other, and it impacts our children. So how does it show up? My sons, for instance, can randomly think of a person and say, mommy, let's call the person. At the same time, my sons can decide that, mommy, we have to do this thing and we have to do it now, and then they'll go. So you see bits and pieces of our traits already rubbing off on them. So that's like how I think our marriage is rubbing off on our parenting style.
Okay, so like I said, we're going to be rounding off with this. And for me, it was like my first son, knew that we were going to discuss about this, because he kind of like gave me the answer yesterday. So I posted on my status. So yesterday he comes to me, that's my first son, Kester, and he says, happy anniversary, mommy. I said, thanks, baby, but it's tomorrow, not today. And so I just thought of it, and I said, randomly, I just asked him, I said, do you like our marriage? That was what I asked him. And he said, yes. And I asked him, does mommy take care of daddy? He said, yes. Does daddy take care of mommy? He said, yes. So I asked him. I wanted to be sure it's not just talking. So I asked him, I said, what do you like about our marriage? And he said, you don't fight.
Wow.
You don't quarrel. And you're always together. Those were the 3 things he said. And he said it that yesterday. I didn't think much of it. Do you understand? Like, but his dad now told him, So this is why when you grow up and you get married, you also have to make sure that you take care of your wife like daddy is doing to mommy. And you make sure you don't fight. You know, all those things he listed and all those stuff. And for me, this morning, so while I was posting about our anniversary on my status, I remembered it again. And for some reason, I didn't remember those 3 points that he listed. I remember the fact he said about you don't fight. But I didn't remember the other 2 he mentioned. So I called him again this morning to be sure it's not just a one-off something. I said, what was those things you told me yesterday again that you liked about our marriage? And he repeated those 3 same things. He said, you don't fight, you don't quarrel, and you're always together. And I told myself, I said, okay, I know I'm not supposed to score myself, but at this point, allow me to pride.
On this 9th floor.
Allow me to pride, because it shows that we're actually modeling something worthy to them. For him to have been able to pick that, and so you will never understand how much impact. You might think, is it not just to give birth to kids? Yes, we know that the primary reason for marriage is companionship. But beyond companionship, especially in this Nigeria climate, we sometimes put companionship to the back burner, and procreation becomes the main reason for marriage. So that's why when you get to a certain age, your parents start telling, I want grandchildren, or do and get married. At that point, you know that procreation most times. So, but then you should, this marriage is not just about procreation. It's a by effect. Of course, I've heard some people say they don't even want the children at all. But the point is, don't just procreate, and intentionally model, because a lot of the dysfunction that we're having in the society can be traced to the home. Just like our guest said last week, you can trace a lot of abnormalities in the society to the home. So if this child of mine is growing up to see that his father has never laid his hands on me, I have never, do you understand? Initially, I used to be very feisty, and anybody that knows me will know that I'm highly opinionated. So then, when my husband is talking 1, I've talked 20. Do you understand? Well, I guess for me, with maturity, I started letting go.
You saw that the man was not even up for a fight with you.
I started letting go of a lot of things and all those stuff. If not for anything, because I knew at this point, my children are starting to grow. They are beginning to pick up a lot of things. In fact, then, when we got married initially, my biggest weapon, I knew one thing about my husband. I knew he does not like to see me cry. So trust me, once any argument sets, the floodgate of heaven is open. I'll start crying. Just to win that argument. And one day I just sat there and told myself, this is emotional manipulation that you're doing like this. You know this. So right now, do heaven and earth. I'll just be looking at you. I say, when you finish, I'm here waiting for you. I'm here waiting for you. Do you understand? So, but I've not begun to, that consciousness of the fact that this marriage is beyond us now. There are children involved. There are destinies tied to this marriage. We can't afford to be just nonchalant about it and just let it, okay, let's take each day as it comes. So, and also another thing is the fact that if you see me with my friends, I used to be very, I use words carelessly. Not like, I've not really been a cussy person, but this throw careless words, especially when you're with your friends and you're mad, all those things. But one of the things marriage did for me is to make me clean up my vocabulary. So that's why you see that we've been able to raise children that are sensitive to words. There are some words I can't say around my children. The next thing you hear, mommy, that's a bad word. And it's because of my husband. My husband also was deliberate. That was one of the things he said that. So that's why when they do something, the first question we always ask my children when they do something, where did you learn it from? Because then we now follow up. Have you seen mommy do it? Have you seen daddy do it? So we are reinforcing it to our children that we are your first role model.
Yes.
If you don't see us do it, then you don't have to do it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if every other person out there is doing
Yes.
it. So it's just like, so that's why you will come online. Someone one day was a celebrity marriage packed up, and someone was like, this is why I'm scared of marriage. Someone said, what happens to your parents' marriage?
Exactly.
Why is it a celebrity zone that is bothering you? But yet you have your parents
who have been married
for 50 years. And it's not, of course, there are some people that have endured through the 50 years. It has been laced with a lot of issues. But in your own case, for a fact that your parents are enjoying a good marriage, and they have done that for 50 years.
And it's not model enough to you.
Motivate you enough. Is one celebrity somewhere that the marriage has packed up that you now hold on to, I'm scared of marriage. Can't you see that there is a problem somewhere? So that's the first thing we're intentionally trying to let our children know. We are your first model. We are not perfect, but one thing is that we're following after Christ, and as we follow him, we know a lot of the imperfections get cut away and everything. So just like Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ.
Bam.
We are your models. It doesn't matter what anybody out there is doing.
Bam.
So that's just that. So the quality of your marriage would definitely impact on your parenting, whether you like it or not. And the worst thing that can happen to you is when you and your partner are not on the same page in parenting. Trust me, you will raise chaotic children who will continually pit you against each other and worsen the situation of your marriage. Because at this point, they see there's a crack in mommy and daddy's marriage. So they will not put you against it. It's not mommy versus daddy. And trust me, children are smart. They will always use you against the other. And that further deepens the crack
gap, yeah.
in your marriage. So please, for the sake of your children, put in the work. You've said you've chosen the person, but then beyond all the butterflies, you now have to put in the work to make sure that you reach the end goal, which is till death do us part. So that's my final thought. So Zoe, please wrap it up here.
Yeah, my final, if there's anything like most final thoughts is we are Africans, and proudly so, but we are created by a God who created marriage. Mm-hmm. And marriage was created to reflect the beautiful union in the divinity, which shows God the Father, the Son, and the Spirit as one. Your husband and you are a reflection of that beautiful union. Do not let anything come in between. That accidents happen does not make it the normal. Decide that when it comes to you, there'll be a change in the narrative. Somi and I are looking to certain persons that we know that are doing well. You can choose the same. And it doesn't mean that you go about cursing and jeering at others whose marriages have experienced one thing or the other. Something you can do in your closet is hold them up in prayers and wish them well. But for you, decide that you also want to be a model to the generation that is coming after you. Most importantly, you want to be a model to the children that you are raising, who are Africa's future leaders.
Yeah, thank you, Zoe. So that's a wrap for today, and this is where we'll be calling it a day. Thank you once again for joining us on this episode. I want to believe that you had a fun time and you learned a lot from it. And of course, we also want to hear from you. So do well to leave those comments in the comment section. Let's hear from you. What are your thoughts? What does marriage really mean to you? Do you think we're just blabbing here? Maybe, oh, I don't agree with you. What's the business of my children with my marriage and all? Just let it all out. This is a safe place. Like we say, it's a community where we rub minds together and try to, we see you. We know that, yes, there are a lot of, issues and all that. But let's come together and build a community that is a safe space where we can easily let down as mothers, as African mothers who are intentional about raising the next breed of African leaders. Till we'll come your way again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, everything, and don't forget to follow Digit1024 across all social media platforms. And at A.R.A.L Show too is also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah, so do well to follow us on all those social media platforms. So till we come your way again,
Tell the world Africa is coming.
Bye.
From all corners of Africa, rise from your slumber. The time is now. Lift your voices, take action, make your mark. Intentionally raise the leaders of tomorrow. This is the